Setting.
Mhm.
Hey, girly, how's it going? We didn't
Uh,
record last week because we wanted to take the week off.
yes, it's a very slow week. I am not motivated. I don't know if it's just the world or whatever the heck is going on, but not
Yeah,
motivated this week.
yeah. Well,
But
we didn't want to record last week because we were protesting the 4th of July.
yeah, and somehow it seems to continue to get worse every
I
day.
know. I saw some
Uh,
headlines today that were incredibly disturbing about what's going on in Gaza with like children
I
and
mean, they
just
ran over someone in San Francisco. You saw
like an
those
ICE
videos?
protest. No,
Yeah,
what
there's
happened?
some protesters that were like outside a courthouse downtown,
Who
Friday,
ran them
and
over?
these so the protesters trying to stop the ICE bans from
Yeah,
leaving, and they just
yeah.
kept going, and somebody got caught under it, and they
Oh
ran her over.
no.
I think it's a she. I think she's okay, but it's just super disturbing. I mean, this is the part
Yeah.
that scares me more than a lot of other things, which, we always think about what's going to affect us, right? Like that's the first thought a lot
Hmm.
of times because you can't help it. But it's like,
Yeah.
I worry about my student loans. And then, but then I was like, I'll deal with it. I'll figure it out. But this is like life or death. Like this is
Yeah.
just so disturbing. And like, people are like, oh, I'll be fine. Like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I think a lot of things we were just trying to educate ourselves, which maybe it's a little too late or hopefully not too late. Um,
Yeah.
is the whole like Medicaid, like, oh, I'm not going to be affected by it. I was like, dude, you have no idea.
Mm,
You don't even know that
yeah.
you're on Medicaid. Like,
Yeah.
I was like talking
Your
to,
parents?
my parents are on the Medicaid because they're
Oh, who was saying that
technically
though?
required. Oh, I think I was talking to Chris, my husband.
Oh,
He's, he was
because
like,
your
oh,
best friend's name is also Chris, so we have to
I
like
know. Well, a lot of
separate
people just
those.
don't know. Yeah, I mean, they just don't know
Yeah.
because most of us in tech, have health insurance, so you're not really thinking about living off of anything the government provides,
Yeah.
so to speak,
Well,
or maybe not
he needs
yet.
to think about his parents, right? Like they're getting ready to retire.
They are retired.
Oh,
Like his mother is retiring in August, which I think we're gonna throw her a party, which is around the same time
nice.
as our birthdays. So I was like, well, maybe we can do
Nice.
both. But I'm a
Yeah.
little anyway, that's a separate story. But just in general, like there's so many people that are on this, but like it's not gonna affect anyone, quote unquote, until end of 2026. So everybody's like not feeling it and they're like, oh, what's up? I mean, there's just so much. And I'm actually kind of semi impressed how fast they're dismantling everything.
Oh, I know. I know. I've
And
been
and
listening
yet,
to this. Yeah. I've
yeah,
been listening to this audiobook called 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. Have you heard
yeah,
of it?
no,
It's so interesting. So I don't really do audiobooks, but actually historical ones like this are good because I like to read fiction for fun, like to escape world, right? Like
yeah,
I'm reading like fantasy because I
yeah,
need like a break. Like work is crazy because it's like high impact life, home, family stuff, all the news stuff. So, but this book is by the same author who did Sapiens. Remember that book? It was like super
no,
popular. They
mm-mm,
he does like he's super interesting the way he puts the book together, but it's all about like, how humans evolved and how we came into how we are. And he wrote this book after the first Trump administration. And it's so crazy because
yeah,
like a lot of what he talks about is like, okay, everybody's kind of losing their minds, but like it is important, it is serious because essentially what Trump is trying to do is like recreate this like oligarchical system where just like,
yeah.
a lot of wealthy people own everything and then everyone else is just whatever. But it's like nobody wants to be in that. So the way that they market it is around marketing, right? Is like around like nationalism, right? Like, oh, you want to return to like when things were great again. Or in the Russian case, it was like, like during the czars or before the revolution or whatever that is. But for us, it was like make America great again. But it's like in reference to what? And that is
When was it?
because
Yeah,
it's just like a huge marketing campaign to like reorganize our whole ideology as a country. And
yep.
that was like the dress rehearsal, right? Like the first administration. But now just seeing how quickly everything is moving towards that, I mean, just
Yep.
seeing like the Bezos wedding, the just like total disregard for flaunting your wealth when people are suffering,
Like,
that's
yeah,
so crazy. That's so crazy. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's nothing moves faster than a totalitarian government. I think that's what we need to
oh, I
learn.
know,
It's
like they're
like,
just pulling up those
yeah,
like alligator, Alcatraz, and
I know.
they just shared, I was just looking at like the definition of a concentration camp. Because, people are like, oh, the left, they're just like all hysterical and they say everything's like, Hitler, World War II, whatever. It's like mass detention without trial. Yes, we have that. Targeting a specific group of people. Yes. There's a state or military control. Yes. Harsh and inhumane conditions. A bunch of people that are coming out or are in some of these places are saying the food is full of maggots. There's no like cooling.
People
It's
are
super hot.
dying.
People are sleeping on the floors. People are dying because they're not being
Yeah,
isolation and surveillance and fear as a tool of control. I mean,
yeah.
it's incredibly disturbing.
And I think what's really frustrating for people that actually care. I mean, I remember maybe it's like the rest of us, like the rest of people that actually care. We get our news from social media because you can't really trust the news anymore because it's kind of controlled by the state. Whatever. Anyway, I'm like looking at it and
Or
somebody
they're
was
just
saying
like not talking about stuff, right?
they're
Like,
not. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Or like it's like misconstrued or like they're omitting stuff. And so you're basically looking at all this and you try to verify it by three or four sources. Maybe they're getting it from the same source. I don't know. But regardless, I'm like just thinking about it. I'm like, okay, does it need to get to the level of concentration camp before we care? Like how many
But it
people need
already
to die?
is.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but like I
No.
have and actually this is one of the things that I was like, I mean, we weren't
Hmm.
gonna go into this so fast, but there's nothing you can't like not think about it. Like this is the most relevant thing. If people care about who the F we are, if we're not really talking about what's happening right now, it's like, I have because normally I just post a bunch of stuff because my account's private. And
Hmm.
then friends that are responding generally just say like, they like it or whatever, but I've been getting more and more people who are like, "Oh my God, this is insane." Or, do you know
Hmm.
that like my friends in New York are really scared of this socialist like Democrat that's going to become mayor? And I was like,
Hmm.
or, I'm really offended
Yeah,
that you're
yeah,
comparing this to concentration camps because, like
yeah.
what my family went through. And like I totally empathize because my family did not go through the internment camps or whatever during the World War or, around World War II. But if they
Hmm.
had, I think I would be very upset if they were like comparing it to it.
Why would you be upset if it's the exact same definition that it fits?
But that's what I'm saying. But it's like if
Yeah.
you're saying,
I
oh,
don't think you would
but
be upset. I don't think you
no, no,
would
no.
be
But like
upset.
I think it
There's
would
a
kind
bunch
of
of like
cross my mind, be
Holocaust
like,
survivors. No, there's a bunch of
yeah,
Holocaust
exactly,
survivors who
exactly,
are being like, this is fucked up. You know who's
exactly.
not
But
saying
no,
that is people who literally didn't experience it, but are trying to like
exactly,
bypass and like
exactly.
take credit for and like allow for the dehumanization of a whole other people based on something that wasn't even their experience.
Exactly. But like, you want to listen because like a lot of times we're like, especially their friends, you're trying to like hear their side. And then I'm like, I'm having to really like Google articles to show them and not just my opinion, right? Or not
Right,
just like a
right.
social media
Yeah,
post. And I'm
yeah.
just like, this is the education part where I'm like, why do I have
Hmm.
to educate you? You're extremely well educated. And this is the sad
Hmm.
part. There's like a lot of like very well educated people that I know. And again, it's a very small sample of my life. I don't know
Hmm.
how, but I'm guessing that's also why a lot of people can ignore all this because they're like, well, but no, like, why would we, I'm scared of this and this and that. I'm like, people are dying. You know what? Maybe
Hmm.
he is not Jewish, but
Hmm.
for F's sakes, he's at least going to defend your right to exist. He's going to
Hmm.
defend your
Hmm.
right to like say, hey, this isn't right, or that he's going to defend your right to talk shit about him. Like that's like I feel like that's so odd that I have to like even say that. And they're like, oh, a lot of my friends are thinking about selling their apartments in New York, and I was like, if that is your biggest problem, you don't have any problems. Okay?
Yeah,
Like you don't have any
yeah,
problems.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's the same like my friends who are Mexican. are literally burying their heads. I mean, not you, obviously, but like there are other people that are literally burying their heads in their sand in the sand, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is insane." I was like, "Yes, they have been sending people to South Sudan where
Hmm.
they are in a war."
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, and
Yeah,
some of them are U.S. citizens that are just either mistakenly or whatever because there's no due process. This is the black. That's
because they're
what
racially
is the
profiled.
scariest part.
Because they're racially
Exactly.
profiling people.
They're racially
Yes.
profiling, and like
Yeah.
this is the scary part. It's like, how long is it going to take to get to the naturalized citizens that do not look like them? And
It
the
happens
part
fast. It's already happening.
it's
It's
already
already
happening.
happening.
It's already
Yeah.
happening. And like when I'm seeing like these ICE agents that are minorities,
Mm,
and I
mm,
saw this morning there was a photo of this guy that's like clearly he's like Asian. And I'm like,
mm.
what are you doing? Like I mean, how much money do you need to make to do this? Like I know you're providing for your family and whatever. Some of them are sick and
Yeah.
maybe take joy in it, or this is like them serving their country. But I'm just like, how sick do you have to be to do this job? Knowing how bad it's gotten. Like, I'm not saying ICE is shit forever. I mean, it's been around for a long time,
Hmm.
but they didn't do this before,
No, and
right?
the thing is, ICE is a recent thing. Like that, it came to be during George W. Bush because they wanted to have like a more
Yeah,
aggressive department. Because it used to just be, I think, the Department of Immigration, right? That's where La Migra comes
yeah.
from, like
Like
immigration,
CB,
migra.
see, like,
But
yeah,
they
something
wanted to be able
customs
to
and
have like
border
more
patrol.
flexibility, go after
Yeah,
like, anyway, in that case, I think there was just like a lot of lip service, like, hey, we're doing, and it's so interesting, right? Like the party that's all about like small government, just creating these giant government bureaucracies, right? Like that's a whole other department of the government that was created that is
yes.
being
But what I'm,
funded, which by the
yeah,
way is like leading to more deficit.
yes. I mean, that's like the craziest thing is like we can't fund education or medical, like, health insurance or medical care that's critical. And yet here we are. Like a
Yeah.
bounty to
Yeah.
capture
We
someone,
can't
one to
build
two
like
grand.
homeless homes, shelters, housing crisis, none of that, but they can like throw up these like alligator Alcatrazes in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. And they're still
Super
going,
wild.
super wild. And that's the part that drives me crazy. It's like, and the lack of empathy is the scariest part. And like the normalization of the numbness, which is something I'm scared of myself because it's like I get upset and I'm scrolling and then I'm looking at the news and then I'm like, there are certain things that I'm just like, oh, it is what it is. Like how, like I don't know how we are supposed to go after every issue, but at the same time, you're like, just mentally, we just don't have that kind of capacity.
Exactly. Exactly. And at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our families. We have to take care of our loved ones and just like figure it out, right? Like taking a time out and
Yeah.
being like, okay, I need like to recenter myself, to reground myself, because otherwise you'll just be in a total mess, right? And then you're no
Yep.
good to your family, you're no good to at some point there is that. So it's just having to find that balance. It's really hard to do. And like being kind
Yes.
to yourself too, right? Like, hey, I am one person at the end of the day. I need to just like it's okay for me to have a day, an hour, like moment like last week, right? We took off from doing this.
Yep.
We could have given ourselves a hard time and been like, oh, we're supposed to be posting, we're supposed to be on top of this, but we're like,
Yeah.
we need that time. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, there's that.
It always feels like we're all just waiting for something good to happen, but like, I don't know how we can like do better.
I'm
I
doing
don't know.
this breakthrough course through it's called Chani. I'm obsessed with it. It's more like for astrology, but she also is doing these like workshops that are not like connected to astrology, but still like super helpful. And it's like a 28-day, whatever. I didn't do it in 28 days. I probably did it in double that because I didn't like have the time. But she talks about doing this like gratitude journal, which is really important because I think even since I was doing the breakthrough course, which was like, it took me like maybe 40 days to do, a lot of really awesome things have happened. Like for me, for my family, like just some things that we were really waiting to come through. And that's important too, right? Like identifying that there are moments of joy, that there are good things, and there are things to be grateful about, because otherwise we're going to end up this like mess.
Yeah,
And
that's how I
resistance,
feel.
existence is resistance.
I know. I'm just concerned that I don't know if we can survive through this. Everybody says it's gonna be fine, but how?
No, we don't know if it's going to be fine. There's no
I
way we
know.
can
That's what I
control
mean.
or know that. Even if all of this wasn't happening, we don't know if it's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, I know. Like you have to kind of put together contingency plans. Like what happens if one of us is detained? I mean, everybody keeps saying no, of course not. But who thinks that they're gonna get detained? Like who's gonna be like going to the day, starting the day and be like, yep, that's gonna happen to me today.
No,
Like
as a family, we came up with a plan. Like we know your right of what to say and what not to say, right? Like your constitutional right not to say anything. That's really important. Even to like tell people like how your day's going, no, like there's a very specific list. And then having an immigration attorney. So we all have one on like speed dial now, basically, just in case.
yeah, I feel like I should find one here. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're swamped.
Yeah,
It's
but it is good
crazy.
to have one. You just never know. It is reassuring, right? To know like there's someone that you can call, that you can talk to. And almost all of them will do like a consultation for free.
Yeah, crazy.
Just because it's good to have somebody who knows you, who's in your corner in case something happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild that we actually even have to do this. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm also like super anxious about it, super sad.
Yeah, I mean, LA is SoCal. It's kind of like the battleground right now, right? And there's like so much news coming from it in Central California as well. I'm like just
Yeah,
wondering where our governor and mayors like I don't know. Like
yeah.
they I would imagine they probably also feel somewhat helpless,
Well, that's not very
somewhat.
reassuring, is it?
No, it isn't. But I'm just wondering like if that's how they feel as well because that's how it's set up, you know?
But I think where I question is like, in the like the great movements, there was always like the leaders who would get people together, right? And they would be very visible. They would be front and center. They would be organizing. They would be talking. And I just don't see anyone that's like risking that. And it doesn't seem very risky, right? To be like, hey, this is not okay. Let's all get together. And like, to a small extent, the Pope has been talking about it, and some bishops and some priests have been like showing up. But why not, our leaders, right? Like, why aren't they at the protests? Why aren't they showing up at the immigration courts? Like, it's very much like a sideline game right now, and I don't think it's controversial to be participating against this?
Yeah. And I think Gavin Newsom took advantage for a moment and then he's in South Carolina right now. Why is he in South Carolina? I don't get it. Like, yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't understand. And I think that's the problem with the Democratic Party, right? Like, there's that's deafening silence. And maybe they are exhausted too. I don't know. But like,
No, it's
there's
like,
just
why are you doing that job if you're not going to be a leader for like what you believe in?
the for the freaking state that is like under attack, where we know what they've said. They're attacking California. And if
Yeah.
you're not here to defend it, what are you doing?
Yeah. Meanwhile, the deregulation and the defunding of like federal agencies because of all the Doge stuff that's going down. Like, there was that blueberry recall. A bunch of people have died because they've had like tainted blueberries because there's just like no oversight on that. Like, who's going to care about that anymore? The whole like Texas tragedy because they didn't get like enough notice, that this like weather event was going to happen. It's crazy. Like, there's a direct connection between defunding these organizations, right, and losing loss of human life.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
always like, oh, hindsight, and they always blame the Democrats because they're louder. They're willing to say things that are not true and they're louder.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where's our loud people?
Yeah.
Where's our loud people at? I think that's
I
part of
mean,
why
there
we
was,
decided to do this, right? Because we're just like,
yeah,
we can't be the only ones who feel like this. Like, it's not
yeah,
a this is not like radical things to think. This is like feels like normal things to think like that this is not okay.
yeah. I think it's exhausting being like someone who actually cares and empathetic and is actually educated in the US right now. Like, that's exhausting. It's just beyond exhausting to exist. Like, I mean, like I never once thought that I would want to move from the US, but like, you have to kind of think about it because you're like, what are we doing here? Like, what if that does happen to one of us? Like, what's the plan? How do we, put everything in storage and sell the house or whatever? And like, it's still a very privileged thing to say to have those options, but like at the same time, you're like, well, what are we supposed to be doing? Because it's like most people do not have that luxury of like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Like if my partner somehow just disappears and then I'm just gonna keep it going. Like I don't know how that would work. Um, that's the eerie part of things that people don't really think about or talk about or not in the news because it's just so horrifying to see like how they detain people in the first place. And I think that's the thing that's like overshadowed a lot of other stuff that they're trying to do. Like what happens to the state like the is it called the Safe Act or something? The one where they're like, you have to have your ID match your passport or your birth
Yeah,
certificate so you can
yeah,
freaking vote. Like, whatever
yeah,
happens to that? Because like, I would not be
yeah,
surprised that it somehow passed and we didn't know about it.
yeah. I think that one in particular didn't, but that whole the Trump bill that has like all of the tax cuts for billionaires and cuts Medicaid, cuts
Yeah,
kids' lunches, that one did.
yes. But they're like supposedly not really gonna, a lot of it doesn't go into effect until after midterms. And I just don't. I am afraid that the Democrats just will not get their shit together with the infighting within themselves, where they're
Yeah.
seeing who has the support and they're still trying to kill it.
I
Like
know. I know.
I'm
This is the whole
actually, yeah,
rerun of the whole like Bernie. And by the way, I was
yeah,
not a Bernie person, and now I fully regret that, right? Like I feel
me
like
too,
they were totally
me
right to begin
too,
with. We should have just
me
done it.
too,
It's total
because
bullshit. They're just like
yeah,
band-aiding over this bad situation.
yeah,
And I will be the first to admit I was wrong about that.
I
And
100% said that the same thing to Chris. I was like, I was so not behind this old white dude that like, what the hell does he know? But he is still there. And like for
no, I
like
always felt like even though I'm left, I felt like it makes sense to advocate for the center so that we could like attract more people, but that strategy is not working. So
no,
I'm like,
it isn't.
why go to the center if that's not even working? Like, might as well like actually fight for the things that are going to be real change that I really care about, that I really believe in.
Yeah. That's what I hear. Like the pendulum always swings. Like right now, super far to the right. It will hopefully swing to the left. And then and it goes back and again and again. And then hopefully we learn our lesson.
But like,
Um,
when was it really to the left? Like, what actually happened that was like super to the left?
well, they counted when, Obama was able to get basic health care to be super on the left, like handouts, right?
But
Like all
it
of these
wasn't
things.
universal healthcare. People have to pay for it. And you get like, it's not good. It's not what people would have wanted. It's a middle of the road. And now all of that stuff's been stripped out. So like what we're going to start seeing again is there's no more consumer protection agency. So you as a consumer can't be like, go against like these major companies or whatever. And they can start like denying you. They can start charging way more for the like basic stuff. Like all of that stuff is being stripped away.
I mean, they already do. Like California, like home insurance or even renters insurance gone up like 40, 30, 50%.
Yeah,
And like
our
I
renter's
emailed our,
insurance, they kicked us off
yeah,
and didn't even tell us. We didn't even have renter's insurance for a bit because they didn't even tell us.
yep. Like
They can
I
just do that.
literally, yeah, they literally did that. And like I emailed them and they're like, yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Like, oh, and car insurance goes up. They don't even tell you. It just comes through on your bill. And like pet insurance, don't even get me started. But like, that's probably a privilege. But like just the basic things that you think you need as a human to exist. You calculate how much that costs every month, and you're like, it's gonna go up. It used to be whatever $4 for avocados at avocado at Trader Joe's. It was like almost like I think it was like 5 or 5.50 or something. And so I'm just like, okay, like it's subtle, but sometimes it's not so subtle.
No,
And
girl, I
you're,
haven't bought avocados in a minute. That milk, right? Like we
yeah,
buy organic milk. Uh, that went from like $5, $6. Now it's like $12 a gallon.
Jesus. And you're not shopping
Yes.
at Erewhon or anything, right? Like
No, it's
it's just
Sprouts.
basic. I
Yeah,
know.
I don't shop at Whole Foods. Sprouts and Costco, basically.
Yeah, me neither. And I live half a block away. And Chris is like, how come we don't go there? And I'm like, that's because you have no idea how much things cost. He was like, how much should I be paying for this like coconut milk? And I was like, dude, like, come on. I was like, it's that's the crazy part where it's like, no matter how much money you or I make, we would know like how much things cost because that's how we grew up. Like I,
Definitely.
never really paid attention to a lot to exactly how much things cost until I like really started cooking and making my own money because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
I think of
wait.
it in like buckets. It's like around $5, around $10, around $20. So that's why when like milk moved from like the $5 bucket to like past the $10 bucket, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a big
Yeah.
change, you know?
Yeah. That's like, I mean, when you buy the same things also, right? Even like it's super jarring. Like you can't
Yeah.
go to anywhere, and there are only two of us. We can't
Yeah.
go in like any grocery or whatever for like a full grocery buy without being hundreds. I mean, that's insane. That's how much people make sometimes for a week,
Yeah. Exactly. Oh
And
my
like,
God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's funny is probably a sidebar, but I think of everything because of what we do, I think of everything like in terms of subscription now. I'm like, wow, I'm essentially like subscribing to a gallon of milk like twice a month. Like that is an ongoing cost forever. Like I
Yeah.
have a gallon of milk subscription. Or like the way I thought about it was these like grain-free cookies because we're gluten-free because I have that
Yeah.
terrible endometriosis, PMDD pain, whatever. And the low inflammation diet helps. But those cookies are like $9 for one of those little bags, but they're so good. They're the Siete Mexican wedding cookies. And I was like, wait a minute, I buy like one of these a month. I essentially have like a $9 subscription for these cookies.
Oh my God. Well, that's because like Amazon trains you to do that. It's like cheaper
Mm,
if you subscribe and then
mm,
they bank on you not canceling because majority of people forget to cancel, right? And that's
yeah.
why there are companies out there that do that. But I do believe there was a law for California that passed recently that's like they have to make it very obvious or easy for you to cancel, not like the maze that you would have to go through with some, platforms we will not name. I
Mm,
remember taking forever to figure out like how can I cancel this, right? Because most
yeah.
people will cancel either within the first day or they'll put a like me, put a reminder to
Reminder. Yeah.
say to cancel whenever,
Hmm.
just because I'm very non-committal, okay? I don't subscribe to anything if I can
No,
help it.
you.
I literally mooch off of my brother on everything and now Chris. And then my brother mooches off of Chris. And so
Yeah.
like
No, I don't
nothing
think
is
it's
in my
mooching
name.
when you're
Like
married. I think that's just called like
that's fair.
sharing
But with
resources.
my brother it was definitely mooching. I don't do it. I never do it. It's like, you know, um I never I
We have,
never subscribe to
but
it.
your brother's rich, so like.
I mean, he's an adult now. He was like yesterday, he was like, "Oh yeah, can't believe I'm about to turn 30. I have to get my shit together." And I was like, "Okay, I'm very aware that you're going to be 30 because I know how old I am, like
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
older
yeah,
I am,
yeah,
compared to you."
yeah,
And so
yeah.
I know 100% how old you are. And he's like, "I'm going to get my shit together." And I was like, "Good, I just I love that, but because
I
personal
love that.
background,
I love you
I
getting your
do
shit
love that.
together.
Yeah, but because he's so much younger than me. So for me, I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, do it in comparison. I know it's not good, but it's like definitely like a first gen immigrant mindset and I know you're not supposed to compare, but that's
Hmm.
how it is. Like even with your siblings, where I'm like, oh, I bought my blah 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 my condo when I was this age. Does that mean like I'm still ahead of them if they buy now? Like that's like I can't help it because that's who I am.
Yeah.
Not to say that I don't want it for them. I really want it for
Yeah.
them. Been
Yeah.
encouraging him to
Yeah.
buy forever because
Like,
everybody
am I
knows the
still
San
crushing
Francisco
it or
condo.
not?
I know, like, and I'm like, what if my sister bought right now? Like, because she's older than him, she's in the middle, and so I'm like, I want that for them, but at the same time, in my head, I'm like, wait, does that make me a loser if they actually like
Oh,
make
no,
the
it
do it
doesn't.
before I
No,
did?
no.
Um, so just stuff like that.
It's unfair. They were not like subject to the Great Recession. Like we were behind from the beginning.
Well, that and I went to grad school and they didn't, and I have crushing
Yeah.
student loans that they don't
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I don't want that for them, of course, but it's something I go back and forth like, do I
Yeah.
regret ever doing this? But if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here. So like, how do you
Agreed.
like? It's that like trade-off, right? It's like
Yeah.
my mom was an accountant in China, and my dad worked for the government. So he was let's call him a reformed communist, whatever. Um, but like, like, do they regret coming here? I don't think so because like this is a better life, so to speak, right? Because their children are doing well. But it's like if they had stayed, they would have had an amazing life. They've never been suffering through what they're doing, they've done over the years. So it's I just don't think people can understand this part if you don't have that firsthand or at least firsthand adjacent, like kind of experience with family or immediate family or whatever grandparents with it because you don't see there's not enough. I don't think it's not easy to have that kind of empathy for immigrants if you don't.
I know. And there are people that are just like more empathetic than others in general, like just because you can like put yourself in someone else's shoes. I think some people are just like born with that and some people aren't, and maybe it can be learned or observed or whatever. But
Yeah.
I know we're almost done because again, we didn't pay for the pro. Oops.
I
Maybe
know.
Zoom can sponsor us.
Yeah,
Kick us down
right?
with a free subscription or whatever. Um, my grandfather was super proud of being American. He became a citizen, everything, and he's, born in Mexico and proud of being from Mexico, not any issue with that. But I
Yep.
remember my mom for the 4th of July sent a picture of him with this like American flag shirt that he used to wear. It's almost like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's just like one big American flag.
Yep.
And I think he would be crushed by what's happening right now, right? Like
Yep.
just heartbroken, really, because there's that promise, right? Like you work hard, you like raise your kids here, you like do the all the things that you're supposed to do, and for this to be like this, right? And we know the reality of it, right? Like it's not even about immigrants. They don't care. It's a scapegoat to like take all the resources and concentrate them all at the top. But it's kind of worse to know that, right? Because you're just like, wow, this is like total bullshit. They don't believe it. No one believes it, but it's working and you feel powerless and helpless.
Yes. And I think like we have to just remind ourselves that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And like you said, we have to take breaks. I have to keep reminding myself that like this
Take a
too
deep
shall
breath,
pass.
breathe, breathe.
Yeah, and like we just have to have contingency plans in place. We have preps that we've done with the house, with our important documents, and I'm sure people will advise that as well. I've had to go get, my birth certificate, which they probably won't recognize now because it's Chinese. And like, and just things that I thank God my mom was so paranoid. She paid thousands of dollars to get before, so I don't have to do it now
Mm.
and just things like that where it's like we have to just prepare and like it's kind of funny because and sad funny that like certain things that I talk to my parents about and they talk about how like their parent or their friends are coming around because they were supporting him because they were single issue voters. I mean, that's a very oversimplification, but that's generally how most people get boiled down to. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we told them this and blah blah blah," and now they think that we're really smart. And I was like, I'm kind of somewhat grateful if we're like looking at any sort of silver lining to like have some sort of uh not equalizer, but like common ground to even chat with our fam sometimes
Hmm.
about. I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
hopefully we don't have too many that are like, oh, contrarian, because I'm 100% one of those people where like, if you're gonna be like that, I will have to cut you off
Yeah.
my life. And I've
There's
done that
nothing
with
to
some of
talk
my
about,
friends.
right? Like there's no even
Yeah,
discussion. If you feel like it's okay to starve children as like a tool in war, then there's nothing for us to talk about. I don't care
yep,
how you justify it. There's literally nothing for us to talk about. If
yep,
you think that it's okay to treat people, children, families who are here doing work, right? Like the things that are necessary for the economy, paying taxes, whatever, they are less deserving of like human rights, empathy than like some billionaire who owns a yacht and doesn't care that they're like poisoning your water or there's lead in the
yep.
schools or whatever. Like, what is there for us to talk about?
No, there isn't. And that's the thing that was really sad for me too, because I've had to cut off friends and like and I thought we were really good friends. But like I think what it is like what it made me realize is like they are just so selfish that they only care about that one thing that happened to them, that they can't see past that where they can have empathy for other people. They're like, well, why should I care about them be getting detained and whatever when I have been doing this for so long and I've suffered and me and me and me. And I'm like, not to diminish what you're feeling, but can we look past it for a minute where without you being in the situation you're in, you wouldn't be able to make money and buy multiple properties and like do all this and be able to travel and have options. I mean, this is the thing that I think people don't get it. It's like you have options. We have options. Like if we need
Privilege,
to,
yeah.
we can freaking go live in another
Yeah.
country. We have the
Yeah.
skills, and I think we can do that. But how many people feel so trapped that there are no options? They have to decide between feeding their children, paying rent, or maybe living in their car because that is the only way they can get to work. So I want to end on a positive note. I do think that we have some, we continue to, do what we do, and like I I don't know if we intended this to be as political as what it is, but I don't
It's
know
just
how we
life. I
feel.
don't think it's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
to say
they,
like, oh, let's talk about not talk about politics in this environment is like, let's not talk about life because that's impacting all of our lives.
yep, yep. And maybe this is like maybe not going to make it into the video, but maybe it's something
We're at the
we
countdown.
just, yeah, maybe we should just like, post this whole video and then we can record another one like later on this weekend. Because I feel like if we cut them up, maybe they're not as like continuous. So maybe that's something you and I can talk about, separately. But